Instead of rewarding your loyalty with lower prices, AI could see you not shopping around for bargains as a sign to charge you more. Penalizing you for making repeat purchases, you could be paying more for the same thing as new or infrequent shoppers. And I want to show you how to stop that from happening. Remember, AI is always watching you. It can see when you're likely to leave or abandon a cart online, and the system, it adjusts prices to make sure that you buy, and it maximizes profits using the customers who trust the brand the most. The Target app charged people $100 more for a TV when a person was in a Target parking lot versus when in another location because it appeared to determine people would pay higher prices the closer they were to the store. Companies use your personal data to set individualized prices for goods and for services. They use your location, your device type, your browsing history, your purchasing behavior. The goal is to maximize profit by predicting how much you're actually willing to pay. It's different prices for the same product depending on who's purchasing. These companies, they build customer profiles by collecting information. They use location data, things like your zip code. They collect what device you're using. Is it Apple or is it Android? They use your browsing and your search history. They also look at your purchasing behavior, things like how you decided on which product to buy, when, where, or even how you made your purchase, even how often you buy that product. Also, they use your demographic, who you are, how old you are, and if you're using the app as well. All of that information feeds their systems, and prices, they change in real time based on this information. Some examples. Retailers have even charged higher prices to consumers located near a store or in areas where they have less competition. Travel sites have offered more expensive hotel options to Mac users based on the assumption that they're going to spend more. Rideshare companies have been accused of charging higher fares to users with low phone batteries. The assumption is that their urgency increases their willingness to pay. Here's the problem. Customers pay different prices for products based completely on data. And the data that's needed to come up with those prices, it's pretty invasive. And most people don't realize that they're being subjected to this surveillance. And I want you to understand that surveillance pricing is different from dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing, we've been used to it. With dynamic prices, prices do change in real time, and it's based on supply and demand. It's based on competitor pricing. It's based on the time of day. It's the inventory. There's other external factors. It's segmented. You'll see prices changed based on groups of people instead of individual. Some examples of dynamic pricing that you're probably used to are with the airlines or even with hotels. That's where you really get to see it. But with surveillance pricing, it's based on your personal data, you, the individual. And then these algorithms, they get to choose what price you're willing to pay. And it's mostly without you even knowing that it's happening. Two different customers, they'll probably see two completely different prices for the very same thing. It can be at the exact same time, and it's all because of the profile that company has built about that person. A new Consumer Reports investigation uncovered that Kroger grocery stores collect extensive customer data and use it to make detailed inferences, such as by using an income predictor, an estimate about a customer's income level. Consumer Reports discovered that Kroger's income predictor can be inaccurate and differ markedly from reality. As a result, a shopper deemed to have less education or with a lower income, for example, could end up getting fewer of Kroger's best discounts. And that data that they're collecting from you is being used as a weapon to take money out of your wallet. And the tips I'm going to share later are going to help you protect yourself from these things. How do these retailers, how do they get our information? They get it from a bunch of places. Online, they use websites and apps. They look at your browsing history, your search history. When you're on their sites, they're looking at your mouse movements, your scrolling behavior. All of that is being looked at. You're being watched while you're online. They're looking at what you put in your shopping cart, what you take out of your shopping cart, and if you abandon your shopping cart. Have you ever abandoned your shopping cart and then you get those emails with the discounts because they really want you to buy? This is something that I had to train myself to do. Back when I was living in the US, because of all the work that I was doing, one of my copes was online shopping. And one of the things that I put in front of myself was Do I really want this thing? Did I really need it? Most likely not. But if I really wanted it, leave it in the cart for 48 hours. If it sells out, I mean, it's fine. But by the time I get to those 48 hours, I would always have a coupon waiting for me in my inbox to buy that very thing. And it was a great way to lower the price on things that were typically full priced items. When you go into physical stores, quite often they're tracking you. They're using things to determine if you're close to a store or where you're walking within the store. They're tracking your movements through GPS. They're using Wi-Fi triangulation. And then those electronic shelf labels, they tend to have beacons. And when you walk by one of them, it will ping your phone to find out where you are. Some stores even use facial recognition to track your biometrics. They're cameras, they use cameras and they use this software, and they're looking at your demographic, your physical demographics, and they're looking at your behaviors, and they're looking at your mood. These companies, they also use smart devices and apps. They're using the data from your smart TV. They're using data from your speakers, your fitness trackers, your phone. Google was just ordered to pay over $425 million for breach of privacy. A federal jury has just ruled that Google must pay $425 million for privacy breaches, where data was collected from users who had disabled tracking functions. The verdict comes from a case filed in San Francisco highlighting Google's data practices as violating user expectations over an 8-year stretch. I'll look for the link to the class action suit. If I can find one, I'll put it in the video description as well. That's how important your data is, and I want to make sure that you're protected as well as we can. And these are simple solutions that I'm offering. I'd rather you protect yourself a little bit than not at all. Another way that these retailers get our information is through our purchase history, both online and offline. All of that information is tracked and it's added to your customer profile for future pricing decisions. They find out your demographics. They learn about your income. They learn about your broader shopping behaviors. All that you do online is being tracked if you allow it. So how do you circumvent this surveillance pricing? The simplest step that you can take is using a VPN to hide your IP address and your location. It makes it harder for retailers to use these factors to create personalized pricing for you. It also makes you look like you're browsing from a different location. So that's just a way for you to see if you can get a better price online. In this video description, I linked Proton VPN for you. You can choose the free option. You don't even have to put a credit card in. You already know. I love Proton products. One reason is because they're based out of Switzerland. This company is built on their subscriptions rather than outside influences. You know, using a VPN is one of the simplest things you can do to throw off your scent, and it helps with stopping your browsing data from being sold. Another thing that you can do is browse in incognito, and this prevents sites from saving your browsing history, and it reduces the data that they can collect. So that's two things that we're doing to reduce the amount of data that they can collect from you. So you want to block those tracking cookies. So whenever you go to a new site or a site for the first time, it's going to ask you, allow cookies. You want to say no. And sometimes they make it so hard to say no. They will make you jump through hoops. They will make you do backflips. They will do anything to allow those cookies because they will make money off of those cookies. It's painful at first once you start doing it, but then you'll get used to it. And then you'll start to realize how much of your data that you've been given for free. If somebody's going to make money off of your information, you should be able to get a cut. So since you're not going to get a cut of it, you might as well cut it off. Also, before you start browsing, make sure to clear your cache and clear your cookies, because if there's cookies already there, they're still watching you. Next, I want you to compare prices. Compare prices on multiple devices if you can. If you can't, use multiple browsers. I don't know about you, but I have multiple browsers on my computer. I use them for different purposes. For shopping, I would try 2 different browsers to see if the prices do change on things. This may be a way for you to see if there's any price variations that are dependent on your profile. Again, clear your cookies and your cache before you start browsing, and this prevents algorithms from using your repeated search activity to infer your urgency on buying something, your willingness to pay more. And for shopping, avoid mobile apps. They're not your friend. They collect more personal data than your web browsers do. They're actually inside your phone, and they tend to talk to other apps within your phone so they can see in more detail who you are and what you're like and what your willingness to buy is. Next, I want you to turn off location tracking. It prevents them from giving you higher prices based on your location. Also, use price aggregators. They're tracking the prices of the different products, and it's going to save you time and it's going to give you more transparency into pricing. And if you're going in store to make your purchases, which I hope you do, I want you to use cash. And that way, it's going to help avoid you creating a purchase trail. So, some best practices that you can do when you're shopping online is to combine the use of your VPN with clearing cookies and browsing in incognito mode. You want to sign out from your accounts and search as a new user. This will probably get you better prices by doing that. Next, you want to try different VPN server locations to see how the prices change. And then you just want to clear your browsing data frequently. Also, for everybody who reached out and mentioned that the coloring was off in my videos, apparently it's an issue with the server in the US from videos coming from Europe. I'm not sure if it's true, but this is what I've been told. I hope that everything is better. This is something that's completely out of my control. I don't look red in the videos when I see them from my devices here in Spain. But I really appreciate the feedback and I appreciate the care that you guys put into making sure that everything with this channel is the best that it can be. What I'd like for everyone to do is tell me some instances that you've experienced with surveillance pricing. How has it affected you and what have you done in your life to try and avoid this situation? Oh, hi, my name is Kina. I generally talk about these mad billionaires in the US and the things that they can do and how we can protect ourselves from them. If you like what you heard or if you're interested in hearing more, feel at ease to subscribe here. And if you want to watch something else, you can see my face right here. Click this video. I don't know what it is, but the YouTube says it's the one you'll like to watch next. So who am I? They are the data gatherers. They know what they're doing. Anyway, I'll see you on Thursday. Until then, bye.